Hi everybody, Sadie and I are here with a video just to explain our close move. We are moving from Ellis and we are going to Maine, for those of you who didn't know. But the point of this video isn't just to announce that. We just wanted to give you the behind the scenes of what happened, why we felt we were supposed to go to Maine, and just how we kind of got here, and also just the lessons that God's taught us in the process.
So the biggest thing that I learned during this couple-year process that we have been praying on moving to this specific place is that prayers don't always get answered the way that we want them to be answered. Sometimes the answers seem delayed, sometimes they're not in the packages delivered that we wanted them to be, sometimes they just look way different than what we thought. And I think a lot of times as Christians, when prayers don't get answered the way that we want them to get answered, we tend to just give up and we accept that that's God's best and we let it go. But the Bible clearly says to ask for whatever we want and it'll be granted to us. So because of that, it's our responsibility to press forward into the reasons why God is answering us the way that He is. If the answer doesn't come in a way we were expecting it, we forfeit a lot if we don't take the next step and actually pursue the reasons as to why the answers are coming the way they are. Because there's something that God wants to reveal to us about His character in the way that He answers our prayers. So for example, with this move, it kind of seemed like a big mountain in front of us, really daunting. And I thought that everything that needed to happen would just come into alignment really quickly for us, and it didn't. And I had to ask the Lord why that was, and I realized that He wasn't just wanting to move the mountain out of the way, He was actually wanting to beckon me onto that mountain, because character is built in the climb sometimes. And yeah, sometimes God does just move those mountains out of the way, and that's an amazing thing, but I think more often than not, He actually wants us to come onto that mountain and go through a process of climbing that mountain with Him, because the climb refines our character. Just like if you would climb a regular mountain, your physical muscles would be tested, your strength, your endurance would be tested. And as we climb these obstacles in our life, our spiritual endurance is tested and our faith is tested. And so I knew that that's what God was doing to me. And so as I climbed that mountain, He refined my character and pointed out a lot of things within me that I knew I needed to work on to become the person that I needed to be in that next phase of life. I think that we never enter into a next season the same person that we are. We have to go through a refining process. And the last thing is that I think God sometimes wants to beckon us onto our mountains, our obstacles, our issues in our lives, to have intimacy with Him. Because oftentimes in the Bible, the prophets would go onto the mountains in order to meet with God. That was considered a holy place. And I just think that's so neat, because what if we considered the obstacles and the issues in our lives a holy place where we could actually go into the middle of them and meet God. And so I had to learn how to see this obstacle in my life as a potential place to encounter God, and a potential time and circumstance to have an intimate relationship with God and to meet Him in that.
The biggest lesson that I can take away with the process of moving to Maine is to fight doubt and have faith that what God says about your life is true, whether it's in the Word or what He reveals to you otherwise. Sadie and I, throughout this process, it hasn't always been smooth. Sadie and I had a 2 to 3 day period where we really doubted that God wanted us to be in Maine and that it was going to work out, that it was going to work out for us to be in Maine and to move to Maine. We were questioning the location of where we were going to move afterwards, and going somewhere where we already knew people, and not moving to Maine where we know nobody. However, it didn't take long for us to gain that confidence back and just to have more faith that we were going to move to Maine and that everything was going to work out. And probably about a week after that, I got a call from a high school to interview, and the interview went really well, and they ended up offering me the position, and that's where I'll be working this upcoming fall. And God continues to line things up and works in such a way that we can't even take the credit for it. It works so smoothly for being Kansas kids trying to move out to the East Coast that there hasn't been anything we've done except be obedient and do what he wants us to do. The other part of it is just the timing. Sadie and I originally thought that we were going to be moving at the beginning of the summer, and if we would have tried to move out to Maine during that time, we would have failed miserably, but we also wouldn't have learned half the things that we learned while staying here, about being patient, having faith, and trusting God, and not only learning those things, but walking those things out. So I guess the biggest thing I can tell or encourage you guys is just to have faith, be patient, and know that you're not moving on to the next thing because God still has some things He wants to teach you. Dream big. Don't doubt the dreams that you have in your heart because it sounds crazy or it seems impossible. Dream the dreams that God wants you to have. If there's something that's coming alive in your heart as you seek the Lord, seek Him more for that. Ask for the provision for that.
So all that being said, this is a really sad but good move, and we just want to say thank you to everyone that has played a part in our lives and invested in us over the last 6 years of being here. Our church family, our Fort Hays family, our work family. You guys are priceless and just invaluable to us, and we thank you so much for your support, and we're going to miss you guys so much.
Each and every one of you has played just a huge part, whether it's been for the whole 6 years or a shorter season than that. And we know that each one of you has been God ordained for our lives for whatever reason. So we just thank you for your faithfulness to us, just being graceful with us and loving us so very much. It's already really hard on us to try to leave, and we know that the months to come are going to be hard too, but we're thankful for you guys' support as we move out there, get settled in, and try to figure out what's next for us as a couple.
We can't wait to share more adventures with you.
Yeah.
We'll see you soon.
Love you guys.